Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nkoya, aka Ndi Naija. Ja, ja, ja. Yo, these allergies, these allergies, uh, just have been taking me a little bit for a ride. That needs to stop very soon. But we've gotten to the time of the year where a lot of people are either abandoning their resolutions or abandoning their goals, or things just might have become too difficult for them. Sometimes life even throws a curveball, you know, right smack dab in the middle of your beautiful, beautiful plans. So, I wanted to share something with you all that has helped me when things have just gone out of focus, and for folks who might be neurodivergent and don't have the internal motivation, or don't have the motivation or desire to get certain things done, right? Just there's something nagging you at the back of your mind that you've got some unleft tasks to do. And you might be facing what some people call a wall of awful. Now, you know, you feel like you have to do one, two, three, four, five, six things, right? And you're feeling like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. But the truth is, in all of these things, you have micro steps. Some of them might not even be micro steps, some of them might be major steps, right? And it's this one's connected here, and this one's connected here. This one's got four. This one has boop, 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 boop. By the time you get to number three, when you're thinking of all these things you have to do, your mind has just locked up and said, "No, I'm not. I'm just not. This is over," because you feel like performing all of these tasks is insurmountable. That is the wall of awful. So, one thing that has helped me recently, and I decided I wanted to share with you guys, is what I'm calling the matrix of nags. What is this matrix of nags? I will show you. There might be a little bit of drawing here because that's what I like to do. But basically, what it is this. You have to ask yourself, what is it that's nagging you? In my case, for example, I have a bunch of things. I'm going to put the things that I have already accomplished on this because it was in the process of doing it that I realized, oh, wait a second, I've gotten this done, right? So you're going to see some things that uh, I actually completed before the beginning of the year because I needed to test this out, right? I figured I would turn the camera um, a little bit because I don't write straight. This is straight, right? I don't write like this. I write like that. So ask yourself what's nagging you. At the time that I started doing this, there were like a whole bunch of things. One major one was my water softener. um, my water softener had started um, blinking. It was the filter needed to be replaced. So I'm writing this just as water softener. Another thing that was bothering me at the time was I needed to return some stuff that I had bought to J.C. Penney. I also had the same thing for Lane Bryant, right? You might be wondering, oh, why was this a bother? Just return it. Yeah, yeah, right. Just return it. A, I didn't want to drive. B, it was just a lot. Another thing I needed to do was my sinking funds review. I needed to review my sinking funds and make a list of the things that I needed to prepare for within the next month, right? So between January, I would say within the first quarter, first half. So, like things I needed immediately in January, things I needed by March, and a few things that I needed by June because I'm reconsolidating my budget, right? So, I'm going to stop at these four so you can just it'll become clear in a few minutes so that we don't overload this page. So you ask yourself, what is nagging you, and you write them all down. I only wrote four. I have, I don't know how many that I have on this list. I'm looking at the list over here. And you need to write why it's nagging you, right? Why is this thing nagging me? Why is it such a problem? Okay, so for this water softener, the light's blinking, right? Light's blinking. The light's blinking, and the light's blinking, the filter's not changed, or filter is old, which means I'm not getting the soft water that I need, right? Which is essentially disturbing my home wellness. And that was how I was able to distill the problem like down to the root. And that's why we're doing this. So it's disturbing my home wellness. Is home wellness important to me? Yes. Yes, it is. Very much so. So, you know, what is nagging you? Why is it nagging you? The next thing is, so what's stopping you? What is stopping this from happening? I may not have enough room here, so I want two lines. What's stopping this from happening? What is stopping this from happening? First of all, I need to figure out, oops, excuse me. What is stopping this from happening? First of all, I need to figure out the filter. I need to figure out the filter. I need to go to Home Depot to buy it or purchase it online. And I think this one's already done. Uh, I went, I think I went to try and buy it online, but they didn't have it or just some crazy thing. So I need to figure out what filter. And I should actually write that fully down because that is exactly what I did. Figure out what filter to use or what filter that it uses because it needed to be changed. Figure out what filter it uses. I also need to go to Home Depot. Go to home. First of all, before we get there, I need to review my budget. And then go to Home Depot to purchase it. And basically, these were the things that I did not want to do, right? I didn't want to I just didn't want to do the whole thing. I hadn't exactly figured out all the little steps that I needed to take in order to get this done. But when I put it out in these individual steps, in these little steps, then I was like, hold on, this seems doable. I can do this. So, to review my budget, for example, for my water softener, I needed to do my sinking funds review because the money was going to come out of my home maintenance fund, right? The money was going to come out of my home maintenance fund. So, I don't know if we should jump there. Let's do these returns first of all. Why it's nagging me, stuff in my house. I'd bought a bunch of stuff and it was just there. There's a whole bunch of stuff in my house. It's clogging up it's clogging up the pathways, and it was just a lot, and I just wanted to throw it away. But I can't throw it away. It's not mine. No, it was mine, but I've already spent all this money. I'm not going to use it. It needs to be out of my house. It is disturbing me. So, it was bothering my both mental and home wellness. And I will draw this line right here. Draw this nice pretty line. So it was bothering my home and mental wellness. And this actually applies to both of these things, right? And what was stopping me? The thing that was stopping me is at a point I didn't want to try everything on anymore. I was just done. I didn't want to try any more things on. I was able to make the kid try his stuff on, but coming to me, it was like, oh my goodness, what is all this? I want to try this on. I want to try this, and it was only like for JCPenney, it was like 5 things. For Lane Bryant, it was like 6 things. It wasn't a whole lot, but I was thinking, and I told you my list is twice this length. For example, I have this bookcase that's still on there, and I have one more to remove furniture. So, I was thinking, oh, I have all of these things to do, all of these things to do, all these. So I didn't want to try any more things. And secondly, I had to drive. I had to drive to the store to return it. And you guys know, I'm quite the introvert, right? So the desire to just go somewhere and talk to random people feels sometimes like I'm using up my storage of words for the day. It's funny now, but if you've ever been in my situation, you might understand. But it feels like I'm using up my store of the words, my bank of words, almost like using up my sinking funds. Oh my goodness. But I had to drive to the store. I didn't want to try any more things. I had to drive to the store, and I just had to arrange all the stuff because I mean, I didn't want to just I didn't want to just stuff things in a bag and not have them organized. I needed to organize them first because that's how my mind works. So I'm going to say arrange everything. So I needed to arrange everything first, and then this should actually be why this should be moved to why it's nagging because I didn't want to try it on anymore. But then I did all that, and I was like, wait a second, I have put the steps together for me in order to accomplish this. And this is basically how it went. This is basically how it went. One of the things I had on here, let me put another one. Another thing I had, and I think I'll leave some space, like down here to put this. I have a ruler. I don't know why I'm not using it. So another thing that I had was my fridge filter. Right? So, my fridge filter, why is it nagging? I had to stop using the water from the refrigerator because the filter light had turned red. So, why is it nagging me? I can't use my refrigerator fully. Can't. This should be fully used. Might as well just erase it. Can't fully use fridge. Now, what is stopping me from doing this? Step A, figure out the filter. I need to figure out the filter. And they carried it at Walmart, they carry it at Home Depot, and they carry it on Amazon. That's what I figured out. So I did the easiest thing. Order it on Amazon. And also, this is another item, because it's the fridge, this is another item that comes out of the home maintenance fund in sinking funds review. So are you seeing why this was on my list? Because it was stopping me from like getting these two things done. Okay? So figure out the filter, order it on Amazon. I needed to watch a tutorial on how to change it. Watch a tutorial on how to change it. Just watch how to, and then change it. Now, I've already watched the tutorial, and you need to get jugs or bowls or some sort of receptacle where you can fill up about 4 times and get this done. So I will add that to the list because I have already watched the tutorial on how to change it. So get receptacles for old water, if you would call it. It basically has to cycle through the fridge, and the filter have to cycle, and all the water in the cycle has to come out. Get receptacles for, I'm going to call it old water because I don't know how else my brain can fully digest what it is. Get receptacles for old water, and then run the change system. I'm calling it a change system, but it's basically you say, hey, give me water, and I'm going to run the water until the water runs clear for a certain amount of time, and that is it. So we have gotten to, and I think I'll leave this like that. So people, this is the matrix of nags. If you found that your to-do list just keeps getting longer, and there are things that are old on your to-do list that you might talk down to yourself for and say, man, I should have gotten this done ages ago. I don't know why I haven't gotten it done ages ago. Perhaps this can help. Now, you can do this very easily in your planner. If you have a planner that has lines, and if you have, you can do this anywhere. I know you guys have 305 notebooks, you have 816 notepads, you have sticky notes, you have a whole bunch of things. The first time I did this, it wasn't even like in this book. It was just a sheet of paper, and I was like, okay, let me just try and figure this out. Let me write all the things. Okay, what steps? And I found I didn't even need to cross out every single one to move forward with the list. If I had done 2 or 3, written out all the steps, and say, hey, this is something that I can do. Get your confidence up in doing those things, right? For example, this, like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and oh, I can put this trip to Home Depot along with the trips to these places so that I can serve my mental energy and just do it all at once. It's not that, oh, I'll do it today and then I have to figure out how am I going to do it tomorrow. I don't feel like it. No, I was able to put those together in one trip, get it done, and when I was done, it was like, oh my goodness, this is done. It is complete. I don't have to do it anymore. So, like I was saying, you won't even need to write out all the steps for all the things, but by the time you do it for 2 or 3 or 4 at the most, and you get them done, then the next one you can transfer to your next week. Don't get all of them done, you can transfer more to the next week, depending on the number of steps. If you have just a few steps, 3, 4, 5 steps, it's quite doable. So let me know how this works for you guys. I hope this helps. I'm calling this my matrix of nags because it sounds nice. I intend to continue using it for my projects. Now, there was a place in my old planner, I can't get to it right now, but previously in my old planner, what I would do in the page before the month, or the page, you have a lined page, right? I used to write, um, I used to write like tasks. I used to write tasks. I would say home stuff, me stuff, TJ stuff, and car stuff. Now I just put that in that list, why it's nagging, and what are the steps. So that, okay, if I have some free time, I go back and look at it and say, oh, I can do this, I can do this, and I can do this. And boom, before you know it, you're able to get it out of the way. So I hope this helps. Let me know how it works for you, or if you have any other methods of taking care of your wall of awful or your matrix of nags. Talk to you later. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, and I'll talk to you some other time.